So, there's this thing AI companies keep saying. We are working on hallucinations. Our new model hallucinates less. We reduced hallucinations by 80%.
Ding, 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 ding. Boom. Okay.
Sounds great, except nobody tells you the full sentence. The full sentence is we reduced hallucinations, we can't eliminate them. And most developers hear the first part but miss the second. And that gap, that's where bugs happen. Here's what most people assume hallucinations are a bug, like a typo in a code. You find it, you fix it, you ship it. So the assumption becomes better models equals fewer hallucinations equals eventually zero hallucinations. Progress bar going up. Makes sense until you look how this actually works. Here's where it breaks. Hallucinations aren't a bug in the code. They are a feature of the architecture, not a typo, not a missing semicolon. They are what happens when you take a system that predicts patterns and ask it to be accurate. These two things, sometimes they conflict. And this is where most people go, wait, what? Think of it like this. Imagine you hired someone who has read everything. Every book, every article, every forum post. But here's the catch. They never verified any of it. They just absorbed patterns. What happens? What sentences usually look like? What answers usually sound like? What feels correct? And when you ask them a question, they don't look it up. They reconstruct the answer from the patterns. Most of the time, shockingly good. But sometimes the pattern fires, and the fact doesn't exist. The sentence sounded right, the logic held together, the answer was confidently wrong. That's hallucination, not a glitch. A pattern engine doing exactly what it was built to do, in the wrong situation. And here's the uncomfortable part. The thing that causes hallucinations is the same thing that makes these models useful. The ability to generalize, to fill in gaps, to give a reasonable answer even when it's not 100% certain. If you remove that, you don't get a safer AI. You get a model that says, I don't know to everything, which is technically accurate, completely useless, so there is a trade-off baked in. Capability versus accuracy. And every model sits somewhere on that line, not at the end of it. Here's what trips developers up. They see a benchmark, Model X hallucinated 3% less than Model Y, and they ship. The mistake? Hallucination rate isn't uniform. It spikes on low frequency knowledge, ambiguous questions, long reasoning chains. So, your AI is great at common questions, quietly unreliable on edge cases. And edge cases in production are just regular cases you haven't seen yet. So, when should you actually worry? High stakes output? Verify everything. Don't trust the confidence. Creative drafts, brainstorming, summaries. Hallucination rate is low enough, ship it. Real-time factual lookups, don't use an LLM alone. Use retrieval around it. Knowing this is the difference between an AI feature that works and one that causes a support ticket at 2 a.m. in the night. AI hallucinations won't fully go away, not because the companies aren't trying, but because the architecture that makes these things useful is the same architecture that makes hallucinations possible. They are two sides of the same design. So the question isn't, when will hallucinations hit zero? The question is, do I know exactly when to trust this and when not to? And once you see it like that, the confusion kind of disappears. You're not waiting for a fix, you are building around a known constraint, like every other tool in your stack.